Next, we have Dr. Kang presenting Universal Design for Learning and Multimodal Training.
Right. Thank you. My name is Ziho Kang. I'm an assistant professor in industrial and systems engineering. And my expertise in human factors. I would like to start from the middle first. So my co-investigators are Dr. Randa Shihab. She's also in industrial and systems engineering, and also Dr. Lei Ding and Dr. Han Yuan. They are in biomedical engineering. So the project aim is to benchmark current existing methodologies for the universal design for learning and multimodal training. And based on the benchmark, we are trying to develop new methodologies or adapt the existing methodologies for effective training. So, the four brief procedures are outlined, and I would like to explain each step one at a time. So the first case would be to classify the current pedagogical practices. And to do so, we have to first analyze the current curriculum and perform classroom observations to identify the current status. And we will be performing the content analysis and, of course, the protocol analysis for the interviews. So based on identifying the current status, we'll be mapping those with the various levels of the UDL and multi-level training, and to eventually develop a classification system that are shown over here. One is to show the various presentation modalities, and second is to find out is on the interaction mechanisms, and third would be to be classifying the various inherent motivational factors. So here is a brief outline of the UDL model, and I'm really sorry, it's really challenging for me to speak in the microphone and try to read it from the slide. Concisely explained, so our brains would function in this process, and the keywords for each process would be the information representation methods, and the action and expression methods, and third would be the engagement methods. To benchmark the existing best practices, first we'll be searching for all the relevant literatures that are available, and of course to investigate how the UDL and multimodal training is being exercised in various centers, such as the National Center for UDL. Oh, my goodness. Thank you very much. And I was so nervous trying to go back and forth. Okay. Third is to communicate with various researchers. Based on a little bit of preliminary study, we identified Dr. Rose at Harvard, and he has developed this T560 educational program. It's designed to apply the UDL for the students who have disability. However, we believe that it will be very useful in training the air traffic controllers also. Not that I'm saying that they have any disability at all. I'm just trying to say that we will be using all existing resources in order to adapt the UDL and multimodal training methods to improve the air traffic controllers' performance. And in addition to investigating the current existing methods, another aspect that we're proposing is to apply the physiological measurements and to see whether we can use these to improve the effectiveness of training. And one of them is the brain waves using the EEG and other devices. And the second one is the use of the visual scanning patterns through the eye tracking devices, which both of them are being much affordable today. And in addition, we're trying to identify the new emerging technologies, such as the augmented reality and the virtual reality. For example, so you might already know that a lot of the students, they have to schedule in order to practice in the simulation rooms. However, we're trying to see whether we can apply those simulation environment in the virtual reality, so when they're just making their dinner, using a microwave oven, they can just put on those devices and just immediately practice. So we're trying to see whether that can be achievable. So here's an example of the physiological measurements. The picture on the right shows the different parts of the brains that activate based on different types of tasks. And we might be able to get a better understanding based on the UDL training process of how we function. And the figure on the right is the capture screen of our eye movements. So the circles indicate the eye fixations. The center of the circles indicate the eye fixations. The size indicates the eye fixation durations, and the lines indicates the fast eye movements, the saccades between the eye fixations. And these numbers that are not clear to you, these indicate the order of the eye fixations. And we can identify when they are going through some training. It is well possible to investigate at what features they were interrogating and how they are learning. And we're trying to see whether these findings can be linked with the UDL and the multimodal training. So based on those investigations, we're going to align the current pedagogical practices with the benchmarking study in order to propose an integrated multimodal strategies. And the examples are a repetition of the previous explanations. And finally, we'll be developing the protocols to assess the student learning outcomes using various types of metrics. So here we have the objective measures, the task completion times, errors, comprehension levels, and we have the subjective measures, such as the preferences, and we're going to add on an additional objective measure, which would be the physiological data, such as the brain waves and the eye movements. And these are the deliverables based on each process. And the timeline would be 18 months. And that is currently where we are at. Okay. Any questions? Thank you.